to Chai Chat and Wine.
I'm Sonal.
I'm Keena, and today we're going to talk about overreaction.
And I wonder why we're talking about overreaction.
Well, everybody's talking about it. The Oscars this week, and Will Smith, who we both love.
Yes.
And have done for many years.
One
Fresh Prince
of
of
my
Bel-Air.
favourite actors. Yeah.
And he's just a wonderful, generally, I'd say, and even today, even now, I would say, a wonderful human being.
Yeah, and a brilliant actor.
And a very good role model. Done so much positive and right in his life.
Yeah.
But this one time at the Oscars, well, he lost it.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think well, it's funny because I think we sort of discussed this a bit earlier, didn't we? When we said that initially we thought it's a stage, it didn't look real.
We thought it was part of the act.
Yeah,
with Chris Rock. Yes.
Or they're just trying to get publicity because the Oscars are getting a little boring.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's the first live Oscars in the last 2 years, right? So it's definitely not boring this year.
Yeah. So, but it turns out that it was real. It was not meant to happen.
No.
And it's caused controversy everywhere.
Yeah. So, just for those, in case you've missed it, Chris Rock was emceeing the event, the Oscars, and he made a joke about Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, who we now know has alopecia and therefore has lost her hair, which means she's now shaved it. And we were both saying, my goodness, she looks amazing. She's such a good looking woman.
Yeah.
And with no hair, she's so good
looking.
But anyway, that aside, he made a dig about the next G.I. Jane role. Yeah. Jada, I look forward to seeing you in it or something. Because that's the look Demi Moore had in that movie. The shaved head look. But, you know, when you watch the thing, he's actually laughing. When he first makes that joke and Will for the first time hears it, he's laughing, but Jada's face is not a happy face. Yeah,
well, she did a bit of kind of like a, what do you call it, like a bit of a, I don't know, kind of...
she raised her eyebrows and rolled her eyes and was not impressed. But he actually immediately laughed, whether that was a half nervous laugh or who knows, right? We all react in ways sometimes we haven't planned everything.
No.
And he didn't know what was going to come out of Chris Rock's mouth either.
Yeah. And I personally thought, well, okay, G.I. Jane, she did have a G.I. Jane look.
She does.
It's as simple as that. Yes. There's nothing, you know.
Bloody glamorous. But bloody brilliantly good looking.
Exactly.
But she does, It's not a negative comment.
I didn't feel the negativity from that comment.
It's not saying you look like, I don't know, the sole of my bottom of my shoe or something, or like the back of a donkey's arse. No.
Yeah.
It actually is a very good-looking look. It's a very kick-ass look, isn't
and
it?
it is a G.I. Jane look. If somebody else shaved their hair, you tend to say, you've got the G.I. Jane look.
Yeah.
You know.
But then something happened, but it was quite quick, wasn't it? Because soon he's then on the stage and then gone and slapped him one. Yeah. Which is so out of character for this person.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, for anybody to react physically...
Yeah. So what do you think? You obviously think that wasn't a good thing?
No, I will say there's a time and place. And if someone's upset you, that was not the time or the place to have addressed it, and not that way.
Or the reaction to have,
And to physically hurt somebody, to physically make contact with somebody else. Yeah. I mean, the only people I've hurt in my life physically are my children.
You bitten me, let's not forget
that.
Well,
I'm not sure I bit you, but...
Oh, no, you bit me.
You burnt my doll. It was a fair fight. But okay, so apart from biting you a little bit when we were very, very little, the only people I've actually ever slapped are my children.
And I see what you mean, because it's almost being like a parent, isn't it? Where you have everything just builds up. Your kids do that one thing that just pushes you over the edge, and you slap them. Yeah. Kind of thing. It's almost that kind of, it seems to be that's the kind of reaction he's had. There's obviously a lot going on with them. Yes. They're maybe not in a good place, I don't know, but something's obviously created that kind of reaction out of somebody that is genuinely seems to be a really nice guy. Yeah.
No, he is, and we mustn't forget. But yes, this single one act is completely out of character and I think wrong. He should not have struck him. Yeah. That's no excuse. And then to sit back and then say, you don't fucking mention my wife or whatever he said. He was really aggressive.
He was very angry.
He was very, very angry. But, for all you know, if you've suffered from alopecia and it's really important to you, and let's face it, this is the world where you have to look good all the time.
So I have got diffuse alopecia. Okay. But that's obviously due to iron levels being low. Right. So it's not like patches maybe she's got, but my hair growth is low on my head because of anemic because I am quite anemic most of the time.
So that worries you?
It does.
Yes.
It's a huge, and it's the one thing I think, my God, even if my skin is bad, but please, my hair is a different ball game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you lose a lot of your identity.
Yes.
With your hair.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah. I lose a lot of hair. I don't think it's anything. I just lose a lot of hair. Yeah. So, when I wake up in the morning, my pillow is covered in hair. I go for a shower to wash my hair. Chunks come out.
Yeah.
Anywhere I am. I cannot cook without my hair being tied up because I know hair is going to fall.
And it's a menopausal thing, isn't it? When you reach a certain age, then it gets even worse because you lose your hair and your whole image, So it is devastating for a woman to lose their hair.
I would be very upset if I lost my hair.
Yeah.
So, and I think that would have an impact on our marriage, for example.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure I would be sharing that a lot with Jay. Yeah. And I would be, I'm sure, very, very upset about it. So maybe, we don't know that before they came out that she didn't have a really hard time getting ready for these Oscars.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. There's got to be something more that's built up. A bit like when I said about smacking the kids. Something's built up, and to a point where, that was just the last straw. Yeah. So therefore, it might not seem big to the ordinary person listening to that comment or whatever.
Seen as an overreaction by us.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think there's probably a lot more to it than we actually realise.
Yeah. So. And I think maybe more so because it came from, I think they were friends. Well, they are friends, but because Jada and Chris Rock were in Madagascar doing voices for characters in that together. So they obviously know each other all very well. Right. And they're all from the same
There might be some history, some comments that have happened before, who knows?
Yeah. And maybe he forgot that he's not in his living room with Chris Rock who's come round for dinner and he's in the Oscars, and maybe he would have... I don't know. Who knows what went through... He probably doesn't know what has gone through his head because he was so apologetic, and he did say, didn't he, that somebody did say to him that when you're at your top, that's when the devil's going to come for you.
Oh, Denzel Washington. Yeah.
Oh, is that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, because then they zoomed in on him. Yeah. And this person has unfortunately going to... And this is his first Oscar.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? After all these years.
Amazing
of all
films
these
he's done.
Superb movies.
Yeah, he's a super... I think he's a brilliant actor.
He is.
Yeah.
I mean, literally he can do everything.
Yeah.
Everything from Men in Black to Fresh Prince to singing. Yeah. And then, what was that movie with where he had the young child and the wife had left?
Oh, that was
Tanya Newton left. Was it something to do with Life? Life was in there.
Yeah.
Beautiful Life?
Something like that, but it was such a good role. Such a good role.
So he's done the series, and then he's done this most recent one for which he won the Oscar. Yeah. Again, phenomenal in that.
Yeah.
Just such a wonderful but also very good person. Yeah. And his memoir's out, and there is a lot. He's had a very traumatic life. Yeah. So his childhood was very traumatic because his dad was very abusive. Right. It was one of those passive-aggressive things because the dad was very supportive, but also very abusive.
Yeah, so messes a kid up, doesn't it?
Massively.
Really? Yeah.
When you're at that growing stage as well.
Yeah. You don't know whether you should love someone or hate someone. It's very hard.
And maybe you do both, but both to the extreme.
Yeah.
That must be really very hard. And then I think the marriage hasn't been the easiest of marriages, They
have a complicated marriage, don't they? Yeah. Which is perhaps not the most conventional of types.
Yeah. Because on her podcast she's mentioned, and he's been on it, and he's mentioned stuff in the book, in his memoir, that I think sexually he's had to work hard at being at the top of his game for their marriage.
Oh, wow.
And maybe, so this is where some people are coming in, good for Will Smith for sticking up for his wife. And then other people saying, hang on a minute, she's a strong, independent woman. She doesn't need him to stick up for her. It's not like somebody was attacking her. I know physical attack and verbal attack is also not great, but if she wanted to, she could have stood up and gone smacked. Not that we should be saying people should suddenly start smacking people because they're not happy with the way they're talking about them. But as you've said, we don't know what level they're at with the trauma of this. But did she need saving? Was he even right to stand up to save her? Was it his place? Was it necessary?
Yeah, the whole thing didn't sit well with, because especially when you see him walking, he's got this real macho stance. He's walking up there, which just doesn't sit well with me. I think it was the completely wrong thing to do. I'm sorry.
Completely wrong thing to do. And from somebody you wouldn't expect it. So even more wrong for that reason. Yeah. If he's always behaved badly, you think, oh, well, here we go again. It's him doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But this is so not him. But again, is he protecting his wife's honour and sticking up for her because he thinks he owes it to her?
I actually really wonder what she's thinking. Because you can see her, obviously, she was upset with the comment Chris Rock made. But I wonder what she was thinking when afterwards, when she saw that, what he did.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that impressed her or whether she was thinking, I just want to get out of here. Yeah, you really shouldn't have done that.
Fool. What did you go and do that for? But she was very good at keeping it calm because they all posed for all their photographs, the family photograph that they wanted with the Oscar.
Yeah.
They got loads of those in.
Yeah, but she looked a bit strained. a little strained. And she looked a little strained, I thought.
Yeah.
But,
gosh,
yeah.
But still very controlled.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's an actress as well.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I do, admire people massively when they can just control everything like that so much and almost pretend like it's not happened.
Yes, yeah.
But
it's interesting because the whole concept of he did that for protecting her honor and all. You think, oh my God, this makes it 10 times worse.
Yeah,
it really does.
It was not necessary. Yeah. It's nice, yes, when a guy sticks up for you. In fact, I think I saw somewhere where this person has sort of piped up saying, good on Will Smith for sticking up for his wife. My husband never stuck up for me in front of our family, or his family, I think she said. So clearly she's in a family where they're very dominating and they might be saying stuff to her and he never stood up for her.
Yeah.
So she's very happy that Will Smith stood up for his wife.
Yeah.
Though,
but I do agree with that too. So I think there is a point where, you do have to stick up for the people around you and say something.
Yes.
But I think there's a time and a place, and there's also a way of doing it, and that wasn't the way to do it.
No.
He could, to be fair, had he just sat there and insulted Chris Rock and said, don't speak about whatever, fine.
That would have been
enough. That would have been, for me, that would have been great. You know what? Because
thank you.
I personally find Chris Rock quite annoying.
Yeah, he is annoying. He wasn't funny.
No, I didn't think he was funny at all, and he's quite annoying. Yeah. So, I can understand. So that would have actually, I thought, good on you.
Yeah.
But
this
it's the physical action
was completely.
And what are you teaching young kids out there? Well, this is how you resolve it, by going to hit someone.
Yeah.
Really,
everybody's watching it. But you made another very valid point. Yes, he's messed up, but now what?
Yeah. Now, if he uses this for something positive, I'd be so impressed. If he now takes this away and says, you know what, admits I made a mistake, because everyone makes mistakes. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
But he admits it. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. I was in a bad place, something like that. I don't know, whatever. But just, this is not the way to do it.
And it can happen to any of us. We can be all controlled and all perfect all our lives for as long as we can. But something somewhere happens and we make the wrong call.
Yeah. And I know, just like when we slap our kids, which we're not meant to do, but when we slap our kids, once you've done it, you feel so guilty.
So guilty for so long. Yeah. For so many years. Yeah. So forever.
And you think, why did I? And you think, I just wish I hadn't done that.
I mean, I'm not saying we went around smacking our kids all the time, but there have been 2 or 3 times. I mean, I remember, actually.
Yeah.
Shayna's not had many. In fact, I don't think Shayna's actually ever had any, but Rihanna's had a couple. And I remember both of them very, very well. And I'm ashamed of myself for both those times.
And it was never like an abusive slap, but it was a slap in terms of, what, don't do that. That's wrong.
Now.
Yeah.
Well, I think I was on the edge and she was just pushing, and it wasn't her fault. She was just being a normal, whatever she was at the stage, I don't know, 3 years old or whatever. And the other one a bit long. But, as I'm saying, it traumatizes you because I did that.
Yeah. Well, my mum's a classic one. She used to go around, the Velen, which is like the rolling pin, chase me around the house, smack me with it. And she's completely forgotten about it now. It's like it never happened. It's like, seriously?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not talking the sort of smack on the back of the wrist or on the bottom of the leg for being naughty. That's different smack. This is a proper when you've lost control as a parent and you lash out at your kid.
I've not done that wallop.
No, have you not?
No.
See, that's the 2 I'm talking about. I've not done it to Shayna, but I have done it twice to her.
Yeah.
And I remember them both, and I feel terrible for it. Again, not so badly that she needed treatment or anything. Or was scarred or anything.
Yeah.
But it was bad enough for me to think, I lost control, I should not have done that.
Yeah.
See, and this is what I try and remember always. Whilst we can't control how others around you act, what we can control is how we react.
Yes.
And you must remember your reaction.
Well remembered.
Yes. Oh. So you have to. Your reaction is what you can control. So control the way you react to things.
Yes.
Much easier said than done, especially for a person like me who's, we're edge of seat all the time. You know that. I'm getting a lot better. But
you're very impulsive by nature.
Yeah. But so do try and remember to control how you react, because you can't. But anyway, so like we said, those are the 2 times, and I do feel bad for it. And she remembers them. She remembers the second one. She remembers the first one. She was only 3 at that stage. It was only a small slap across her face. I never slapped across the face.
I was going to say, because we're not talking abusive slaps. We're talking about
tiny thing across. Normally, it would just be on the back of the wrist.
And sometimes this will stop them doing something stupid, like putting, touching something hot or whatever. You're like,
Yeah. So no, we're talking about this where I did, and I should have been more patient. But it was just one of those things, and. In fact, now I do remember it really clearly because it was one of those November nights. It was really cold. I was walking up the hill. She wouldn't stop crying about something. Shayna was a baby. I definitely had a level of postnatal depression. Not making excuses. Now I sound like Will Smith making excuses. But that was everything that was building up in my life at that time.
But this is it. And it's being human, right? It is that. It's that things build up to such a... And for all we know, they could have been going through exactly that kind of trauma in their family.
Yes.
I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know the ins and outs of what's going on. We only saw what we saw on TV, and that was it.
Yes.
So...
so it's, these things happen. But you're right. He needs to, rather than what he did immediately, you could see the remorse on his face and the tears were streaming down. And everything's gone wrong. This poor man has worked so hard all his life to get this one award. And the one time he's going to get this award, it's gone so horribly wrong.
And the little clips I've seen of him in that role, my God,
I do feel
so
sorry
good
for him, though. I do
too. I cannot dislike the man.
I know he didn't act well, but I do feel sorry for him.
I just hope he makes it into a positive rather than, tries to sweep it under the carpet. Turn it into a positive.
And he, as I said, he does a lot of stuff with Jay Shetty, and he has done on his podcast. And I hope he's reflecting on what made him do that. What about Jada's reaction made him feel he needed to be this macho person? And react the way he did? Or was it just on his own, nothing to do with Jada, and he was just pissed off with Chris Rock for whatever reason?
I think there must be some kind of history or something going on. That comment wasn't bad enough to have that kind of reaction, really, let's be honest. If that meant anybody else doing that slap, you'd have thought, really?
No, exactly. So. Well, and then they do say, right, that if it was Jada who'd gone up and slapped Chris Rock, then people's spin would be different on it. So it's not equal. We want women's rights to be equal with men, but it would have been different. We wouldn't have been so outraged if the woman had hit the man, which is not right either.
Whose reaction I didn't like, sorry, I'm sort of skipping over you, but whose reaction I didn't like was the son. What was his name? Their son. He goes, this is how we roll or something.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
On the news, is that what he said?
I think he tweeted it.
Oh, he tweeted it.
I thought, that's not the right thing to say or do.
No, and especially knowing what Will Smith's, childhood's been like with his father. So, well, you see, but this just shows we don't know what happens behind anybody's closed doors. Not your neighbours, not your favorite film star, not anybody.
True. Yeah. So true.
We just don't know.
We don't know.
But we all have to try and do our best. So remember, guys, you can always control how you react. You can't control how other people act. So on that note, whatever your thoughts are on this, share them with us, and see you the next time.
Take care.
Until then.
Bye.
Bye.